G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Game. We are back with some more beautiful Observer UI or improved Observer UI games, and spawning in on the north side of the map playing as the Holy Roman Empire, one of the Giga Chads. It's Divine DFP on the purple. In the south of the map playing as the teal, we've got Defender, who's going to be on the French today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is part of a tournament or a show match, I'm not quite sure, but it has been hosted by somebody. I don't know exactly who that is, but big shout out to them for it, because we're going to be enjoying all of the content that is on offer for us. And I gotta be honest with you guys, we do not see enough of the games that are played with this improved Observer UI, so I don't know, maybe I should start hosting tournaments or events or something like that, just to give us a bit more content with it, because I'll be real with you guys, I am absolutely loving it. So much information on here, and if you didn't already catch it, I'll just give you a bit of a run through on exactly how it works, because you might not understand all the numbers to it. So you can see we've got 7 sheep or 8 villagers here for Divine. Well, this means there's 2 villagers in queues, so you've got the number of units as to exactly how much they've got, and then the number at the top represents how many are in the queue. As well as the global queues for the players, they won't actually be down here in the corner, which is where you typically find them. Rather, they will be over on this little spot here, over on this little spot up here for your respective players. So hopefully that gives you a bit more insight. And then, of course, you've got the numbers on the resources. You'll be familiar with the resource counts as well as the resource per minute. The smaller number is how many villagers you've got on that resource. So we can see Defender here with an 8 next to his food. 8 villagers on food. So there you go. All right, well, let's talk about today. Let's talk about the matchup that we've got here. We've got 2 players, and Divine, indeed, one of them, he tries his best to take out that scout. He's looking for a little bit of an early pick-me-up. Not going to be able to find it there. We've got a classic matchup. I say a classic matchup, but let me be honest. If I was to rate the hardest matchups in the game, this one has got to be up there. Probably the hardest or second hardest. I mean, if you're gonna rate difficult matchups, there's obviously French versus Holy Roman Empire, also Mongols against Holy Roman Empire. It's interesting that these 2 civilizations do very well against the Holy Roman Empire, and everyone else does very, very well. Or the Holy Roman Empire does well against everybody else. I think other difficult matchups that we could talk about, probably China against Holy Roman Empire, very hard on the China side. But other than that, it's, yeah, there doesn't seem to be many that really spring to mind. Maybe I'm missing a couple. You know, any sort of water map where you've got the Rus, that's always going to be a difficult one. But I think for the most part, matchups seem to be pretty even, which is interesting, because there's a lot of games where the matchups are very one-sided, and that's not necessarily something you can avoid when you've got these asymmetric civilizations. There's always going to be bonuses that some have got that others don't. Villagers moving towards the backside here. Where is he going with this? What have we got coming down? Surely there's not an Ark and Chapel right there. I was going to say, I'm like, you're not going to put your Ark and Chapel here, are you? Oh, hold on. All right, there we go. He replaces it, picks it up, puts it down. I thought for a second he might have been going for a mine work or something. When I saw him moving out there, I'm like, oh God, what are you doing to me, Divine? But not going to be the case today. Divine looking to drop down the Ark, and we'll give that rating. Let's see what we've got here. So ideally, you want these villagers to finish up on these sheep and move over to these ones, and that's exactly what he's doing. You can see the sheep are ready and prepped over on this side. But he's got a fair chunk of this wood line as well. Obviously about as deep as he can get it. So last mining camp probably going to be going down right here before the next one, which will go in there. So typically you'd want to put your last mining camp down, and then you'd only put one more after that, nice and deep in the forest. And then you'd move a pellet or 2 out there potentially to cover the wood choppers. But Ark and Chapel going down. I'll be honest, I think this is a pretty decent Ark and Chapel. Probably the best one that he could have got with this spawn. Early stone outcropping. Do we potentially see the double TC Holy Roman Empire opening? That could be an option. I'd be probably more inclined to say arrow slits. Divine loves to go for his arrow slits. We've seen him do this multiple times throughout the game, or throughout, I mean, just watching his games. We often see him go for this. He moves a second villager out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an outpost. He loves it on the outside of the gold mine as well. So a bit more of a... So I would say that you've got like 2 outpost positions. The first one is a deflection, and you want to basically discourage enemy from attacking you. Second one, which is the one that he's gone for here, and accidentally gone onto the sheep, is a safer outpost. So basically he's just looking to keep his villagers safe with this outpost, and that's exactly what he's going to do now. So interesting that he does this, that he opts for the arrow slits. I think up against the French, it probably makes a lot of sense to have that early arrow slits. But speaking of early, Defender going to be looking for a pretty... I was going to say an early age up. It's not early. It's 4 minutes and 50 seconds. That is pretty darn late, if I'm being real with you guys. But we do still see Defender going for the wheelbarrow opening here. So pretty standard play from our French player. We also see a knight in queue, which is represented up the top here. You can see that little knight in the queue. But Divine trying his best to be harassment. He's trying to harness harassment. He's trying to be the harassment. Trying to be annoying on the gold mine. Going to be picking up a couple of scouts back here. And yeah, we'll watch to see how he plays it. As for the moment, everything seems to be going well for our French player. Now, in this matchup, there's a number of different ways you can play it. I think for Defender, the best thing he could do is look for some sort of second town center play. I mean, you could probably start off with just one base and then look for that second TC around the 9-10 minute mark. Ideally, you want to open up with quite a heavy amount of Royal Knights. So we'll look to see whether he does that. He's already got 405 wood in the bank, so it could be a second town center sooner rather than later. We'll check on board with Divine as he actually puts down a second outpost, and we see arrow slits coming through. So really, he is the undisputed king of the early arrow slit outposts. And I think for the Holy Roman Empire, this makes a lot of sense. And you might be wondering, why the heck would this make sense? Well, where's he going to put his relics? Chucks them in the outpost, doesn't he? Nice and free. I mean, if he goes for the Regnitz Cathedral, obviously he's going to be able to use that as a potential drop-off. But in the event that he doesn't, maybe he goes for a Burgrave and wants to grab those relics a little bit later in the game, then by all means, use those outposts as deposit locations for your relics. But we'll check in over on this east side of the map. We can see Defender just looking to try and defend against this position. That was terrible, Drongo. Looking to try and be a bit more aggressive, starting to turn the tides towards Divine. Yet to find anything just yet. You can see those villagers just jumping inside. He's got 4 of them inside there. More villagers coming out, so Divine probably looking for that castle age sooner rather than later. We can see he's got plenty of resources in the bank as well. Now more knights going to be coming out, and indeed villagers moving over onto stone. So it's going to be a second town center play from him here. So the big thing for Defender is going to be stopping the relics from being picked up. Typically in this matchup, you could expect that it's going to be spearmen in the early stages of the game like we've got here. And he's going to try and use these spears to obtain a little bit of control on relics. So number 1 relic, which is why I think it's probably a smart move if he looks to try and get archers out early as well, just to help with those spearmen. Scout going to be going down. Double stable. Actually, no, it's just going to be the single stable from Divine. So this is going to be a smart move for him. Enables him to just sort of rein in early control, because for him it's all about securing up those relics. That's where it really gets difficult. We actually see a second relic coming out already for him, reflected in the UI. There it is. Knights still hovering around. So much line of sight over Divine's. Oh my lord, apologies, having a little bit of a stroke right there. We've got Defender and Divine, 2 names very, very similar, but for the most part, everything just going par for the course. Now looking to actually move out onto the map, take a boar. Nice little start from there, and we do have also a second town center that has come up for Defender, so no surprise there. But he's going to leave a villager on the stone, which I suspect might be for arrow slits. Now keep in mind, arrow slits doesn't increase the line of sight, but does give you that extra 1 range as well as a little bit more damage when you're and I guess just free shots. Knights coming in from multiple angles. Divine got to be careful. Doesn't lose the knight. Was paying attention. Now the knight's coming in. It looks like some pretty insane damage going to happen here. At least 1 villager has gone down. I can't be 100% certain, but we know it's at least 1. Prelate was out looking to get some heals off. Didn't find it, so Divine, unfortunately, under a lot of pressure here against Defender. At these early stages of the game, Defender looking to play like his opposite position attacker and just put on that early aggression. You can see plenty of Vills coming out from as well. He's just working overtime. And this is exactly what he wants to do in this position. The hard part is going to be about finding that timing. As the Regnitz Cathedral goes down, you want to really look to apply pressure towards those relics. So there's going to be relics that you just really can't do anything about. So this is one of those relics that it's almost impossible to give up. But I mean, if we were to assess these relics, we've got relic number 1, which Defender is more than capably defending. You'll just throw a couple of villagers into this outpost and more than capably take down any prelates that come nearby. Second relic in the middle of the map. It's being held by proxy through these knights, as well as the relics down to the south. But I'd love to see just even a wall or 2 come out to defend that, or maybe just a knight camping on top of it, because there's always a sneaky prelate that may find its way around the edge of the map. And last but least, it's this relic over towards the north side, which you can suspect is going to be Divine's first point of call. Regnitz comes up at 944. He's going to be thinking about those relics and now begins to move out towards this northern position. Already got the spears in position, but unfortunately no units out here from his opponent. The knight just continuing to try and do damage, and my fear is right now that if defender allows, and you can see the knight just doing a bit of a run through now, prelate's going to be absolutely fine as the spearman able to take it out. But that's just the consequence of not having any units in position. We see it's just going to be double stable. So defender might be going for the classic. This is a very classic build here. So the 1 or 2 knights into a second town center into mass knights, but doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. Delay on the archery range. I don't like that. The delay on the archery range. I would have loved the archery range coming out a little bit earlier just to delay this from being picked up. Because remember, it's not about necessarily stopping the relic from being picked up. It's more just about delaying it from being picked up. Because every second that relic is in the hands of your enemy, it is going to be trickling resources for you. Now the knight moving out, he's going to have to bring more units over. He's actually camping down over on this other relic, and he's done a good job. He's parked a couple knights over there now, so he should be well and truly aware that his enemy is looking for something. I changed perspective. Never mind. There's wolves everywhere that are getting picked up right now. I changed perspective from one player who was getting chased by a wolf into the other player who was getting chased by a wolf. But defender going to be able to hold on a little bit longer. You can see that outpost is now getting reinforcements on it just when things start to get serious. It's looking to add some additional integrity to that structure. Divine now going to start working overtime when it comes to knights. We can see he's got one in the queue. Keep in mind he's got that relic. Where is that relic? It's over here towards the east. He really seems to love his outpost, doesn't he? He's just got outposts up very defensively. I do like this way that he plays it. It's a safe way that he plays. But now defender definitely going to be looking to be a bit more defensive as that prelate moves out. Now, if he's smart, and he definitely seems to be, he's going to be able to come through here. He needs to try and find a position to take this prelate out. Sometimes you can do like one knight over from this angle, look to try and bait it out, and then bring in 2 knights from the other side. Can be tough though, because there is a scout in the mix as well. That's the second relic going to be picked up here for Divine. He's looking good at this early stage in the game, and typically you would see early aggression coming out from the French player and really look to try and keep them in the feudal ages. The Wallalo going to be going down. It looks like the prelate probably might be going down with it. Indeed it does. So the relic going to be going down onto the ground. Couple knights taking heavy damage. We see one of them dropping down, unfortunately losing its life, and now second one might go down as well. We can see just a handful, just a couple of archers trying their best to take out those spears. Not going to be successful here as the knights look to try and surround the knights of his enemy. We've got a classic knight on knight war right now, and defender really needs to start leaning into his knights a little bit more. I definitely feel like the numbers aren't the best. You can see he's stacking up 700 wood at the moment. That is a lot of wood. Might need to replace his lumber camp as well, as he's going to add a barracks down. This is always a difficult thing to do as the French barracks in this position, because what you'd love to see is just more stables. I'd honestly love to see about 4 or 5 stables. Keep the 2 TCs going, just pumping out knights, trying to look for windows to hit your enemy, just constantly hitting them. You know, you come in with a knight here, come in with a knight here, you come in. It's tough because you've got to really bring out the APM when you're playing a civilization like the French in this matchup. And did you guys see that? 4 deer all scattering away at the exact same time right there when he went to put down that outpost. Divine just the outpost enjoyer, but now defender doing the right thing. Going to be hitting plenty of villagers here. Wonderful timing here. He's going to be able to milk a couple of these. He's taken down at least 3 so far. Looks to try and take down a 4th one. Got to be careful. Falls away from his enemy's knights and now looks to rebuild that outpost. Divine definitely holding on as hard as he can. It looks like veteran spearman going to be coming through for Divine as well. Definitely the right choice in this matchup, but we'll watch to see how he plays it, as those knights definitely going to be falling back. Over on the other side of the map, we can see that the boar has fallen back, or has run out, and now we've just got the villagers moving down towards the deer. Now, I don't think defender's going to be looking to drop down any potential outposts on that position. Prelate going to get picked up. Prelate going to get picked up. Defender spots the prelate. Defender intercepting the prelate. It is all about intercepting the prelate when it comes to this matchup. I mean, it's about a lot of things as well, about a lot of other things. And defender doing the right thing right there. I don't know exactly what that unit was. It looks like it might have been a couple of archers, but I think that was did we just see a springald emplacement? Indeed we did, a springald emplacement looking to defend that position, so you got to watch out if you're a knight. Defender doing the right thing though, moving towards the enemy side. He wants to try and force that enemy away from his own base and then look to intercept this. So really, this is where defender needs to have that scout out and be watching and seeing where it is. But now the wolf going to get in on the action. The wolf, the only one to be attacking it. Looks like the Wallalo going to be coming off. All the units going to be taken out though before it. Wallalo not going to be working on the wolf there, my friend. Unfortunately, Divine unable to capture it. Leaves the prelate just dying. Now heads back towards the prelate and looking to save him against Warwick. Warwick just seeming to, unfortunately, ignore all the units around it and loses his life. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. But we'll take a look back in the base of Divine and see how he's doing. You'd have to say he's doing absolutely divine right now. Oh, Drongo, that was terrible. More stables coming out for him as well. No real... He could actually be thinking about an Imperial Age at this point, but I would be more tempted to say, look, if you go Imperial here, there is a chance that you may die. So maybe just keep making units. I mean, you're not doing anything wrong. You're picking up relics. That's a third relic that you're picking up now. So that's a 600 gold a minute that you've got in the bag. Pretty damn nice. Pretty damn nice. Highly likely you look to take this one as well. I mean, if you're feeling cheeky, extra spicy, you can come over for that. And we now see an outpost coming down for Defender. He's looking to secure this position up. More units continuing, patrolling out on the map, and farm's going to start coming down for Defender around the town center. A little bit of miss macro. He's got 1300 gold in the bank, and now finally it's going to be a double blacksmith that comes out of Defender here. He is a man hungry for upgrades. Oh my god, I thought it was a triple blacksmith. No, it's going to be a market. He's instead going to be trading away some of that gold. So here's a hot tip for you guys. If you've got too much gold and you've got 15 villagers on gold or 23 villagers on gold, as we can now see, hot tip. What you're going to do is just take the villagers off gold. That's my hot tip. I don't know where the other villagers are on the gold, but there are more villagers on gold somewhere. There they are. Yeah, so that is my hot tip. I mean, he's just look to rebalance the economy, spend or trade it out for a little bit of food, which is going to help him get up to the next age. But my fear is that he distinctly has a lack of units. 5 knights, just nowhere near as many as you'd like. And now we've got that age up coming through. It looks like it might be the guild hall. It's going to be the guild hall. So with 82 villagers, Defender decides that the best option for him is to go for a guild hall. Again, I'm having some struggles here, rationalizing the decisions coming out from Defender, but unfortunately, he's not here to defend himself. Divine continues improving over on the north side, taking out more and more of his natural resources. Knights coming in, looking to find it. Springald Outpost going to be firing down upon it. Plenty of damage as well. Knights looking to get a decent charge off here. They're going to be able to find at least one villager. Look at the Springald emplacement just firing off, and this was one of my theories, is that against these low armored units, the Springald emplacement actually does quite an effective job of dealing with them, much more so than its counterpart. Remember the one that it used to? Look at the damage that comes out. All those Knights going to go down. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I would call Knights that don't have +1 ranged armor, these are low armor units. So this bad boy is doing 54 damage a pop, firing every 4.6 seconds. It is very quick. Defender now reaching the castle age. A lot of production coming out from him. We see more stables, more archery ranges. No sign of any keeps to reduce the cost down of these units. Obviously, he's still got plenty of resources in the bank and more than enough to pay for them, but it's something that you'd love to see players look to utilize a little bit more than what they're doing at the moment. And with 1,200 stone in the bag, you can use 300 on the TC, takes you down to 900 left, and then you mine out the rest. That gives you 800 remaining for a keep with 100 left over. So if you want to get 2 arrow slits, then by all means go for it. But that's just some quick math for you guys. The sacred sites, for you guys rather, as the sacred sites begin to get taken. Now we've got 4 relics that are in the bag at the moment. 1, 2, 3. Nope. 3. Yep, there's 3 and 4. 4. There we go. So 4 relics in the bag at the moment for Divine. That's going to be 800 gold a minute popping into his pocket. We've also got the sacred site about to be taken. He's got this one up towards the north as well. How many prelates have we got out for him? He's sitting on 4 prelates at the moment as a bit of a raid comes through. He gets picked up by a spearman. More spearmen coming back for it, and you've really got to love the way that Divine plays this. This is actually so smart. The fact that he's always got these emplacements ready to go. And it was something that we talked about quite early because he was on stone. It looked like he was going to go for a second TC. It was so early on the stone, but obviously he didn't do it. Central sacred site is taken, is secured. Prelate yet to move out towards this eastern sacred site. Could easily do it as those knights get picked up. Only a handful, or only a couple of them move away. 101 villagers now for Defender, but 5 knights, just absolutely nothing. Starting to build up a bit of a massive arbitrary, but there's just so many knights here for Divine. He's looking absolutely amazing. Continues pushing down. He's got the scout mixed in there as well. At least I think. Yeah, he's got the scout back there. He's now going to be opening up the charge, gets a couple of villager kills to open us up with, and now turns his attention towards that town center. Keep in mind, this town center's got 100 extra health since the new patch, and now those knights going to be heading in other directions, taking out villagers in all possible areas. He's got villagers down here on the gold mine that he may potentially lose as that town center going to be going down. Vills try and repair it up, but very quickly Divine turns his attention towards it, and that town center went down so damn quick. Who needs battering rams? Who needs mangonels? Who needs trebuchets? You got knights, my friend, and now Defender. He's up 44 villages, but he is down a significant military mass as the Arbor de Latria doing a decent job looking to hold on. The French composition in this early game is really, or in this mid game is really looking strong. He continues kiting back, which is the right move for him. Just needs to try and focus down all of these knights. Just keep on kiting, keep on focusing down the knights, and that's it. You're going to be fine. He doesn't have the upgrade yet, and that is a consequence of not getting that unique check. Gambesons, obviously, with the different landmark, you would have been able to get it for a discount as well. But still struggling here. He's not kiting enough. You're not kiting enough, defender. Continue kiting. Don't let your units just get hit like this. You got to shoot and you got to scoot. You got to shoot. You got to scoot. That is the name of the game here. Shoot and scoot. Actually, no, it's Age of Empires. But still, a decent little hold there for defender at this point in time. Manages to keep his head above water. Now we do a little bit of a stock take. Where are these players at the moment? Well, Divine sits over on the other side of the map. He's got 51 villages with 4 relics in the bag. He's also got the sacred sites as well. 1,000 passive gold a minute. He's also looking to take the third one. So things not looking terrible for him. But at the same time, 95 villages from Defender. You would have to say that Defender looks like he is in a very good position here in this matchup. Now, keep in mind, my understanding is that Divine is a little bit higher rated than Defender. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you can see the difference between these two civs. As I mentioned before, you know, this matchup is considered by many to be unwinnable, literally impossible to win. I'm just kidding. That's just Reddit. Ignore Reddit. They are mouth breathers, and I am proud to be a part of them. But if there's one thing you should do with Reddit, it is ignore them. Cute little micro coming in from Defender, pulling back the low health knight. Unfortunately, it looks like one of them might go down. Battles on multiple fronts at the moment as he continues to fight back and push towards his central sacred site. Right on board with Divine and see how he's doing. Doesn't look like we've got that age up coming through just yet. He's got a lot of units in queue. A couple of lance connects. This could be bad. This could be bad. Once those lance connects get in, if they can get behind enemy units, that's when things really get they really get sour. We do have the speed upgrade as well, so these little legs are going to be pumping extra fast. Those Ronald McDonald legs. Look at them go. Aren't they beautiful and yellow? For the moment, they'll be red in the Imperial Age if we ever get there, but Divine looking more and more likely like he's just going to spend time in the Castle Age, which I think is the right choice, honestly. It definitely feels like it. You got to be so careful up against the French. I really feel like it's a civ that if you just blink for a second, they will overwhelm you with their knights, so always need to be careful with them. But those Lance Connect are going to be moving forward. Defender going to be looking to hold on. He's going to be so careful against those Lance Connect. He does spot them. He walks into the forest. This could be bad. This could not be a good thing. Walking into the forest now. There's Lance Connects on the other side. He needs to be so careful to pick them off. And we need to see a bit of a bigger archer ball coming out from him. More Arbor de Latria are going to be coming in. Knight's going to be doing a pretty decent job of screening for the moment. Lance Connect's getting off a couple of swings. He's taken out all of those Knights as he continues falling back, doing the right thing. But probably needs to turn his attention towards the Lance Connects. Honestly, those things are so, like, don't mess with the Lance Connects. Continue coming in. He's not kiting. He's not kiting. You got to keep kiting. Keep on kiting. Keep on believing. Keep on doing anything. Just avoid standing still up against those units, and they keep getting taken out. Beautiful little micro here from Defender. He's on the back foot. He's up 50 villages, but it feels like he might be down a handful of military units as those Lance Connects look to get some decent connections. Looking like a back page right now for those misconnections. This is big. This is bad. 3 Lance Connects in there. We're neutralizing a sacred site right now as well. But it looks like he's going to be able to hold, at least for the moment. Oh, no. More Lance Connects going to be running in. Defender definitely going to be pushed to the limit now. I still think he's in a decent position despite his military outcome. There's just a handful of units left in here. We can see less than 10 units remaining for Divine. So he can easily deal with this, but my fear is that there just wasn't enough kiting. It's been the theme throughout this game. You've got to be kiting non-stop with your units. Unfortunately, now those units are going to be turning their attention towards the wood line, and with that, Divine going to be looking to pick up a couple of villager kills over here and start that villager swing. He's up 50 villagers for the moment, Defender, but it's not going to be for too long, and now a keep going to be coming down. That's Divine's keep as well. He's got 3 sacred sites behind this. Divine's starting to look a little bit better. Despite being ahead by 50 villagers, Defender is starting to look more and more like he may be, unfortunately, the loser here. Villagers falling back for him as well. He's trying to hold on with a couple of knights, but the prelates have come out as well. I don't know whether these bad boys have got their herbal medicine in just yet, but they are doing everything they can. They are doing God's work to keep these units alive. Keep going to be coming up. Just a handful of villagers as well. I say handful. 2 handfuls of villagers. That's 10 villagers. I think with an 11th one coming in as well. 13. Jeez Louise. Happy holidays. Now overwhelming that town center. This is where it gets really hard for Defender and where you start to feel like you're pushed up against the wall because your production's being camped, your town center's being camped. A good game gets called. Divine is successful in this game, and what a beautiful turnaround that was. One of the hardest matchups in the game, and Divine manages to pull it off. He was down 50 villagers and not a single problem in the world. Well, fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.